We're going through some challenging times, folks, in the economy, and some really dicey periods, I think, are coming up. Many people agree with this. One of the things that I've talked about this before, precious metals and crypto as well, but specifically precious metals, I want to talk about today and about how they're valuable, how to go about acquiring them, getting started in them if you haven't already, at a very low cost in terms of initial investment. Precious metals historically have done really well in times of economic chaos or impending economic chaos or crisis. Even, if people perceive that one's coming, even though it might not actually arrive, at least in the same form that people believe it might. And I look at all the money printing that's going on by the Federal Reserve and by other central banks around the world, and in my opinion, there is no way that we can escape inflation. We can escape the devaluation of the dollar, or the Aussie dollar, or the Canadian dollar, or the euro, or the yen, whatever fiat currency is used in your country. With this money printing, it's a natural thing that happens, and you can't escape that. So we're going to see that. We're going to see our purchasing power decrease over time, and it's going to be really apparent when inflation kicks in. And I hope that we don't head down the route of having rampant hyperinflation like some countries like Venezuela have experienced, because when that happens, society really takes a dive in a big way. And that's not good. And precious metals are one of the things that can really save you. Like in Venezuela, the value of the fiat currency there collapsed. And most people, the vast majority of people, suffered greatly because of it and are still suffering. And it's really only been the people that invested in precious metals and some of those that invested in cryptocurrency, but specifically what I'm talking about right now is precious metals. Those who invested some of their assets into precious metals were able to survive the devaluation of fiat. And in doing so, they were able to provide for themselves and their families. I mean, it's difficult to buy food when the value of the money that you've got in the bank keeps collapsing and everything gets more and more expensive. And so precious metals, specifically gold and silver, help protect against that devaluation. And so it really is so important, I think, for everybody to have some exposure to gold and silver in their overall assets. So a lot of people wonder about, how they go about getting started investing some of their assets in precious metals. And a lot of people look at the price of gold and they go, well, I don't have, $2,000 or whatever it is to invest in gold. Right now, the spot price is just below $2,000 for gold. And you got to pay more than that if you get a 1 ounce coin, because you got to pay the premium. And so that puts a lot of people off. But I want to talk about how you can get into gold, get, a slice of gold, as it were, into your assets for as low as like $15-20. So let me talk about physical gold here for a second to get started. And then I'll talk about silver, and I'll talk about cryptocurrency, how to get into those as well at really low cost, and a low initial price points to get started. Because I know it can drive a lot of people away when they look at the price of Bitcoin, for example, or an ounce of gold. So one thing with gold, the physical gold, you don't need to buy a physical 1 ounce coin. You can get fractional coins. You can get half ounce coin, quarter ounce coin. You can get 10th ounce American gold eagles. If you're buying Canadian gold maple leafs, you can get 1/20th of an ounce coins, pretty small coins, and that drops the price significantly for your entry point into precious metals. It's about $100, a little bit more than that, with the premium on a 1/20th ounce Canadian gold maple leaf. So that's an easy way to get started. Even less expensive than that, and this is when you can get physical bullion, but you can also get ETFs in the stock market that are backed by physical bullion. And one of my favorite ones that I use is the AAAU ETF. It's AAAU. It's an ETF that's backed up by physical bullion by the Perth Mint in Australia. And per share, whenever you buy a share of this ETF, you're just getting a fraction, of an ounce of gold, as it were. And right now, as I'm recording this, I think the share price for one share of the AAAU ETF is just under $20. It's been around as low as $14 just a couple of weeks ago, but it's gone up a little bit. So it's about 20 bucks. So for 20 bucks, you can get into a gold ETF and get a slice of gold, as it were. I use the ETFs for speculation in precious metals, so it makes it very easy for me to very quickly liquidate some or all of my position, and to be able to use the cash that I get out of that to be able to buy other assets, whether those are stocks or real estate, farmland, crypto, whatever it is I want to get into. But I definitely see, I've talked about this before, about the price point and the purchasing power of gold, silver, and other precious metals probably increasing over time, and that will give you the ability to not only maintain your wealth, but also potentially buy more things, whether it's food or real estate, land, farmland, etc., as time goes by, as we keep printing money. So that's an easy way to get into gold, with the ETFs or the fractional bullion coins. You can also get, they make bars of gold. And when you think of a bar, you're probably picturing like the big bars that you see in movies. But you can actually get a 1/30th or just a 1 gram bar of silver. It's pretty small, but it's about 1/30th of an ounce. And so that's even cheaper than a 1/20th of an ounce Canadian gold maple leaf. So that's another way to get into it. Really small portion of physical bullion. That's a good way to get started if you don't have a lot of cash to get started. Silver's a lot less expensive. It's hanging out, about 27, 28 bucks right now as I'm making this video. It's probably going to go higher. If you wanted to get your hands on a 1 ounce, silver American Eagle, you're going to have to pay over 30 bucks now with the premium. But, you can get, so that's an easy price point. You can also get what are called junk silver coins, or 90% silver coins. These are like dimes, oftentimes dimes. You can get them in other formats too, but dimes that were produced by like the U.S. Mint prior to, I think it was 1964 when they switched over. They have about 90% silver in them. And so a dime that's older has about, a value right now as of today of like, I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks, something like that. Or no, 2 or 3 bucks, two to 3 bucks, I think is where it's at. And I don't know, do the math and you can check online, and I'm probably a little off on that, but 2 or 3 bucks, I think, is where it's at. So that's an easy way to get into silver. And again, silver on a per ounce basis isn't that expensive. One of the challenges right now that we have is a lot of people are wanting to get into precious metals or wanting to increase their position that they already have in physical bullion. And that's resulting in some scarcity. It's resulting in some higher premiums. It's resulting in longer wait times if you want to have something delivered to you, shipped to you. So just be aware of that. All right, so that's gold, that's silver. Fairly easy to get into. Again, as I said, AAAU ETF on through your brokerage account like TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. It's just under 20 bucks. So it's easy to get into. You get a slice of gold, and you've got some of that in your investment portfolio that will, rise along with the price of physical bullion and the spot price of gold as time goes by. Let's talk about crypto. A lot of people look at, there's so many people that haven't gotten into crypto yet, so they're really not familiar with it. And they look at the price of, Bitcoin, and they're like, right now, Bitcoin is hanging around $11,000, $12,000, per Bitcoin. And they think, I don't have, that amount of money to buy Bitcoin. Well, the thing is with Bitcoin, you don't need to buy a full one. You can buy a quarter one. You can buy a 1/100th of a Bitcoin. Easiest place to buy Bitcoin if you've never done it before is Coinbase. And Coinbase, I think the minimum amount of crypto that you can buy is $2. So for $2, you can get into cryptocurrency. You can buy $2 worth of Bitcoin. Obviously, that's not a whole lot, but you're at least in. It's your first foot in the door. And I always look at it like, never look at how much money you put into something. Look at the percentage increase that you get with that over time. So you might think, $2 isn't a whole lot, but, let's say you put $2 in and the price of Bitcoin doubles. Now you go from $2 to $4. Again, not a whole lot, but you doubled your money. You doubled your assets that you have. If you have more money, if you got $2,000 in to Bitcoin, it doubles. You got 4,000, and that's the way it works. Always look for the percentage increase, the percentage profit that you have in any given asset, rather than the actual dollar amount or euro amount or whatever it is that you're you've got your asset denominated in. So keep that in mind. It's super easy, as I mentioned, to get into precious metals and crypto with a relatively small amount of money. And it's super important. We are going through challenging times in the economies of the world right now. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of stores are shut down. A lot of the small businesses, a lot of people are out of work. And that's hurting a lot of people. And I think it's only going to get worse as these lockdowns kind of continue, these quasi lockdowns and, the further restrictions on our freedoms. That, I've talked before about how having financial wealth gives you freedom, and it does from a lot of perspectives, but it's not the whole picture in freedom, obviously. And it's actually less important than personal freedom, your personal liberties. But one of the things that, most people they're not free from money. They're a slave to money. They're a slave to their job because they need their job to produce money. They're a slave to the government because they rely upon pension benefits or Social Security, something like that. And so people are a slave to money. So when you're able to grow your financial wealth, you can escape that slavery and become free. And that's part of freedom. Money gives you options in life. It gives you the ability to be mobile. It gives you the ability to make choices. And that's what we all want. And so I think it's important for all of us to grow our wealth, to be cognizant of how we use money, and pay attention and care about it, because we're taught from a very young age, either by our parents or we hear this from society, in school, our friends or colleagues, co-workers, acquaintances, that, things like money is the root of all evil and money doesn't make you happy and those kind of things. And, I think some of those things are complete BS. I mean, money, when you have no money, it's the cause of much unhappiness. So it does make you happy to a certain level. Obviously, that it doesn't scale forever, but it does provide a great deal of happiness, because when you can put food on the table and you can have a place to call your own, whether that's an apartment, condo, flat, house, whatever, that that provides a certain level of happiness. We all need that. But money being the root of all evil, like, where did that come from? That's complete BS. Money is the root of all good things, that you can acquire and that you can do. Not all good things, obviously, but money, there's nothing about money that is bad. No matter how you use it, it's good in every scenario. The only, bad thing related to money is, like, do you let finances dominate your life? And if you do that, that's not good. If you wrong someone, either by cheating them of money, stealing it from them, obtaining money using unethical means, then obviously that's not good. But otherwise, money is all good. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. All it is an exchange of value. It's an exchange of appreciation. And so the more money you have, it's like you're accumulating appreciation. You got more appreciation points in life. And money allows you to do things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So take care of your money. Think about it. Protect yourself against what I believe is coming, what many people believe is coming. An economic reset, a crisis. And none of us knows the time of when this is going to happen, whether it's going to be a couple months from now or a couple of years from now. But a lot of things I have been brewing for a long time. And it's going to affect everybody. And anybody who is not prepared for it, anybody who hasn't protected their assets and taken steps to protect their wealth is going to get wiped out. The value of their fiat currency, the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, US dollar, euro, whatever, is going to get devalued tremendously. And that's really going to hurt people. And when you get into a crisis situation where it comes down to, can you afford to put food on the table, that puts people in a really tough spot. And I think we're going to be there, unfortunately, with everything that's going on. Anyway, hope that helps. Easy entry points in terms of dollar amount or euro amount, whatever whatever currency you use, whatever fiat you've got. Low entry points for gold, silver, and crypto. So you guys, if you haven't gotten into crypto, you haven't gotten into precious metals, consider doing so. I really think it's so important, and it's not as expensive as you might think. So strongly consider doing it. That's what I do for myself on a regular basis, and I recommend you guys get started as well, because I want you guys to be protected I want as many people to survive this thing and be in as good of a position as they possibly can be when this thing happens. Anyway, until I see you guys next time, take care, good luck. Wish you all the best and everything. Things are going to get tough, but I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.